Hello, hello, guys. Welcome to Elegant Conversation with Jacqueline Valdez, illuminating the world one voice at a time. I am so honored and so excited for our next guest. I have so much love for him and so much respect. I want to introduce David Meltzer, and we are going to be talking about happiness is helping others. I'm such a huge believer in this, so I'm super excited to have him here. So he is the co-founder of Sports Marketing and formerly served as CEO of the renowned Leigh Steinberg Sports and Entertainment Agency, which was the inspiration for the movie Jerry Maguire. And I love his life mission is to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. So let's welcome Mr. David Meltzer. Come on down.
Hi.
Hey, I'm so honored and so excited to have you here on our show. And I just have such a huge respect for what you do and how you are inspiring so many people to be happy, to live the best that they can, and just to shine light among the world.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. So I'm looking for 1,000 people like you, Jacqueline. People ask me all the time, how do you get to 1 billion people? How do you create over 1 billion people to be happy, a collective consciousness with what I think is the greatest virus ever created, which is happiness. It's spread by witnessing it. I witness your smile and it makes me happy. And if we can, simply share that happiness, but empower 1,000 people to empower 1,000 people to empower 1,000 people, that's how we're going to get a collective consciousness of happiness. Happy people don't attack other people. They have no judgments or conditions. They rarely get sick. They, literally, happiness is a cure. It actually strengthens you mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. It even strengthens your immune system. So it protects you against everything else. So if you haven't bought into happiness, then you come and join Jacqueline and I. We will teach you why and how to join us with the collective consciousness of happiness.
Yes, it's so true. I feel like there's so much happiness that needs to be spread. And I love that you came from some really difficult times. And even through that, you still kept your personality, you kept the true light shining through, and you still are using your platform to make a difference in the world.
Yeah, it's so interesting because through the tough times, I call it through the breakthrough of my cocoon, butterfly, it has to break out of a cocoon, right? And it's hard. And in fact, if we cut it open and it came out early, it would die because it's not strong enough to fly. So all the things that have happened are only things that have strengthened me. So I have an interesting perspective of pain and suffering. Yeah. Pain to me became an indicator, not a stop sign. So many people in my lives, I always say 99% of the people quit before they're 25% of the way there. That's why they're unhappy. And then of the 1%, another 99% quit before they're 50% of the way there. That's why they're not happy. But the 1% of the 1% don't see pain as a stop sign at all. It's an indicator, a turn signal telling us that we have a better direction to go in, a better place, a better situation. And suffering, to me, other people saw as being a victim. Oh, he's suffering. He's a victim. Everything's happening to him.
Right.
I went from even thinking everything happens for me, the suffering happens for me to make me stronger, to through me to allow me to be stronger to help other people. And that's a very key indication in a shift in a paradigm that can help facilitate the empowerment process of happiness. And if we see suffering as a process, it's the process of enjoying the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit, pursuit of our potential to find what? The light in every situation, the love in every situation, and the lessons. Life is about lessons, right?
I love that.
Pain's an indicator that you have a lesson to learn, and it's not going to go away until you learn the lessons. And suffering's the process to learn the lesson.
Yes, and I have so much respect for that because I have actually gone through a rebirth myself, and I have been through a lot of struggles and hardships in my life. I lost both my parents, but they have been a huge motivator and have been inspiring me to keep pushing forward and to make even more of a difference and to even shine light among more people. And I want to, follow in your footsteps and reach thousands and billions of people too.
You will, and we will together as well. And I, institute different values that will help people. So for me, there's 4 key values that I really took stock in when I was young, because my mom forced me to take stock in them. And then I kind of, through making millions and millions of dollars and entitling myself, I lost focus in on those values. But then as I was saved by my wife, who told me I better take stock in who I was and what I wanted to become, if I wanted not only to stay with her and the kids, but also to be happy and to live. And so those 4 values to me are: 1, gratitude. Gratitude is the key to happiness. It allows us to have suffering and pain and find the light, the love, and the lessons. It gives us perspective. I don't see life as half full. I see it as overflowing. I'm in a world of more than enough, not a world of just enough. I also see, the second value is forgiveness. Forgiveness, especially in entrepreneurship. I'm a huge compassionate capitalist. I believe in making a lot of money to help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. I believe in money can't buy happiness, but it will allow you to shop. And if you shop for the right things, like helping other people, building community centers, giving money to Junior Achievement or Pencils of Promise or Unstoppable or whatever it may be, you're going to be happy if you buy the right things. I bought, unfortunately, the wrong things. I bought things that I didn't need to impress people I didn't even like. But in order to make a lot of money, you got to make a lot of mistakes. And so if you're going to make a lot of mistakes, you need one quality of peace, and that's forgiveness. And there's only one person to forgive: yourself, so you can give it to others. The third was accountability, right? And we have to be accountable for our own happiness. And so just ask yourself 2 questions. What did I do to attract this to myself? And what am I supposed to learn from it? It's an instant questionnaire in order to facilitate happiness, no matter what the pain or suffering that exists in your life. If you can take control, combined with peace, combined with perspective, gratitude, forgiveness, and accountability, you can extend, expand, and grow. You can compound the interest of happiness, not just through yourself, but for and through others as well.
Yeah, I'm a huge believer, because I have actually been finding gratitude every day and thanking the universe, thanking everyone that's given love, support, even the hard times, thanking those, because that's gotten me to where I'm at. And then forgiveness is such a huge thing. I'm working on that, thinking back to when I was younger and I didn't know any better, and trying to forgive myself for some of the mistakes I made then. But self-love is really important.
Absolutely. And it's funny, there's this nuance of self-love. I tell people, don't be in love with your products. Learn to love you. Don't be in love with your product. So many people are in love with their product, but they haven't learned to love themselves. And so they don't have a sense of worthiness. They don't have a sense of love and happiness. They don't have a sense of forgiveness and accountability and gratitude. Those people, you can't give what you don't have. So if you want to be loved, then you need to be love. If you want to get forgiveness, you need to be forgiveness. We can't give what we don't have. And that's why I still, money to me is so important, because I can't give what I don't have. And I want to have a lot of it to allow other people to shop for the right things as well.
Yeah. I love that so much. And you just staying so driven on your path and so centered. How have you found your way to remain that way, humble and kind and so generous?
It's a practice to me. And so I have 5 daily practices that I institute. And I know through humility that I don't know what I don't know. So I'm not afraid of saying that. I am on my own journey. I'm practicing. So what used to take me years, then it took me months, then weeks, then days, then hours, now takes me minutes or moments to learn the lesson, which I think is the greatest accomplishment of my life, is that ability to react. I believe you get one action in the day. Everything else is a reaction. So these 5 daily practices help me with those reactions. And the first is take inventory of your values. Every day, though. Every day you need to know your what. Your why will come right behind it. But you need to know what's personally important to me today. What's experientially important to me today? What do I want to do? What do I want to give? What do I want to receive? And if we can get the what and not be afraid of being a hypocrite and saying we don't know what we don't know, but also telling people, look, that may have been me when I was 18, but I'm a 52-year-old David Meltzer. Please forgive that snapshot that you have of me at 18. But I've been on a journey learning lessons consistently, persistently in the pursuit of my higher self, my happier self. And so number 1, if you take inventory of your values, not being afraid of a hypocrite. 2 is another lesson like gratitude that I learned pre-kindergarten. I learned from my mom,
Aw.
and that's to ask. I think the easiest way to change someone's life is to say thank you before you go to bed and when you wake up, but also to ask. And today we have 4 different ways we can ask people. One is in person. I think you should be prepared to ask people in person for what you want and help, and also how you can provide value or service. But 2, on the phone, text and voicemail. 3, email, responding and sending. And then media, radio, print, TV, radio, social media, all areas of those as well. And if we can utilize those 4 platforms to ask 2 series of questions, of course, how we can be of service or value. The instant way to make yourself happy is to do something good for someone else. I always say, be kind to your future self, do good deeds. But more importantly, ask for, do you know anyone that can help me? The biggest misnomer that people have is that they're not connected to everything and everyone. And so they're afraid to ask for help. And so what we do is we consider everybody's a gatekeeper. They're not sponsors and power sponsors. I'm here to tell you that a tree has no branches. Everybody is connected. Everyone is a sponsor or a power sponsor. And if you can change your perspective, your forgiveness and accountability into that, you then will feel very comfortable asking in all 4 platforms, do you know anyone that can help me? Yeah. And that's a great question to learn. The third practice is, for me, being a student. This is the mathematical equation of luck. What do I mean by that? What you pay attention to, what you focus in on, and what you give your intention to, what you think, you say, you do, you hear, you believe, and your unconscious competencies, what I call your quantum memory, your DNA, your personality traits, your characteristics, your obsessions and addictions. If you aggregate attention plus intention, it equals the coincidences that you want in your life. It's a mathematical equation of luck. When you meet someone and you're wondering how are they so lucky, it's because they're paying attention and intention to what they want, not what other people want for them, not what they don't want, not for what's missing in their life. Because I am promising you, if you pay attention and give intention to what you don't want, others want, what you're missing, or what you don't want, that's what you're going to get. And people are going to call you unlucky or resentful or guilty or angry or frustrated or separate. Don't do it. The fourth one is relative to statistics. Now, I hate statistics, and I'll tell you why. The only statistic that when I was young, I believed to be true, and I studied statistics, physics, quantum physics, and metaphysics. The only statistic that I could hold to be true because of the infinity of the universe and the limitlessness, I didn't want to take an ego-based approach to math. So I said that 99% of all statistics were made up. That was the only one that I could say true. But I have found one that is true. That is 100% of the things you do now get done. And the difference between happy people and those who aren't happy are happy people get stuff done. Yeah. And so I've asked myself, can I do it now according to my values that I took inventory of today, and prioritize it according to those? And if I can do it now, I save twice as much time and I'm exponentially more successful at what I'm doing because I can't forget it. I can't disguise it. I'm not going to put it off and procrastinate. It saves me so much. So if I can't do it though, I put it into my calendar to study in rule number 3, on practice number 3, for a different day where I could prioritize it against different values for that day. And then finally, most importantly, the key to happiness is a practice that I call practicing ending fear. Fear is what causes the interference and corrosion to happiness. Fear is what causes shortages, voids, and obstacles to happiness. Fear takes a ferocious Buddha to practice stopping or ending it in our lives. And a ferocious Buddha has 4 activities. 1, he's a key, or she is a key identifier. What does that mean? We need to identify what we're afraid of. So there's 2 types of fears. One is a primal fear. It's the Freudian fears, what we want to fight, feed, flight, or the other F word, which I don't ever say anymore. And I've learned my lesson. And then the secondary fears. The secondary fears are the need to be right, the need to be offended, the need to be separate, the need to be inferior and superior, the need to be angry, frustrated, worried, resentful, guilty. All of these needs of fear They're so easily fed. I wish I could feed the world as easily as I could feed your need to be afraid of something. But more importantly, once I identify it, I realize, hold on a second, my mind, body, and soul are on fire. It's probably not a good idea to react when my mind, body, and soul are on fire. So what do I need to do? Should I resist the fire? No. What we resist persists. Should I go around the fire? No. Over the fire? No. Under the fire? No. Just stop. Stop and raise your frequency to your happiness. Your highest frequency is neutral. So the best thing you can do is stop and breathe. Drop down to neutral to get to your higher frequency. Don't live the myth of Sisyphus, rolling a boulder to the top of the hill all day long, suffering with pain, just to have it roll down to the bottom of the hill to start tomorrow morning. What you want to do is let's spend minutes and moments practicing ending fear, not months, days, weeks, and years. Go ahead, spend minutes and moments stopping, dropping. Then you can roll in the right direction to what you wanted according to the values of your day, according to what you asked for, according to your student of the calendar, according to what you're doing. And so if you are in anger, fear, worried, resentful, guilty, separate, your mind, body, and soul on fire. Don't resist it. Don't fight it. Just be a ferocious Buddha. And you know when your mind, body, soul are on fire, when you're on fire, stop, drop, and roll.
I love it. I love it. And it's so true because, I've watched so many videos of you and so many of your talks. And I love the whole wake up, say thank you. At the end of the day, say thank you. And fear has been a huge part of a lot of people's lives and even in mine. And not really until this year have I taken the moment to just breathe and just, know you're going to get through it and talk yourself through and it's going to be okay. And manifesting, I'm a huge believer in manifesting and drawing good energy towards you, ignoring the negative, ignoring the people or places or things that want to try to tear you down or bring toxic energy and just push back with positive energy.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I want to start with manifestation. I wrote a book called Connected to Goodness, manifest everything you want in life and business. And the only negative feedback is on the manifestation part. People are like, he thinks you can talk to water and make it brown. You think, he's manifest this woo-woo. Look, that's one of the most pragmatic business books ever written. In fact, I give it to free for anyone. I sign it, I ship it, I pay for everything. So my email's right there, david@dmeltzer.com. My exercises, guides, books, trainings are all for free. Just email me, I'll get you involved. But more importantly, let me help you out. Yeah. Manifestation just means this: getting what you want. Yeah. And sometimes I wish I'd used better language and just said, if you want to get what you want, learn these things. And what's so interesting is there's 3 steps involved that are mathematical in their execution, their implementation. The first is when we think of what. That's why what is so important to me. The why always follows. The why is the inspiration when we clear the interference between what exists already and attracting it with the law of gravity, which is so important to me in my life. I started with the law of attraction and that woo-woo manifestation. Then I got to the law of Goya, which was like, hold on a second. I got to know my what. The law of Goya is get off your ass. I got to know what I want, because the minute I know what I want, my nothingness of not knowing becomes a possibility. That's right, a mathematical advantage. Nothing to possibility is a quantitative value. If it's possible, it's more than nothing, right? So that's what knowing your what will do for you to get what you want. Then we go through the inspiration side of knowing your why. Once we know why we want to do the what, the possibility has another mathematical jump. It goes from possibility to probability. And everybody knows there's a quantitative delta between a possibility and a probability. And then what do we need to do? We need to have strategy, discipline, and awareness, elevating our vibration, our frequency. We only can be aware of that which vibrates equal to or less than us. So if we can elevate that neutral feeling when we're clearestly connected to the greatest source of light, love, and lessons, we can take our possibility, turn it to a probability with inspiration or why, and then with how, strategy, discipline, and awareness, we become 3D printers. Wow. We manifest or get what we want. We actually take a probability and we make it what? Our perspective. And our perspective is our reality. We have a true system. It's called manifestation. I call it, for the layman terms, getting what you want. If you want to get what you want, then think about what you want, why you want it, and how you're going to get it, and don't quit. And it will materialize just like a 3D printer, except for you are the exceptional AI model that can absolutely materialize things that nobody else can even imagine. See, the thing about a real 3D printer, it already has to be imagined by somebody, and then it has to be formulated to print it out. We're way more powerful. Nobody else has to believe you. They can laugh at you, make fun of you. They can scoff at you. They'll applaud you when you print it out in your life, when you get it. They'll applaud you. Trust me, they're not making any statues about critics, right? They're making it about dreamers. They're making it about the crazy people that everybody said can't be done. That's who they make the statues about. I don't know, there's no critic statues, right? There's Shakespeare and all the Renaissance people and great leaders like George Washington. They're not making the critics of George Washington. They tear down those statues if they accidentally make it and find out they were scarce and critics. They're tearing them down. So be a thinker, a dreamer. Make your possibilities your probabilities, and your probabilities your perspective by getting what you want. And if you want to pretend like you're woo-woo like me, then say you can manifest anything you desire.
I love it. And it's so true. I never thought about it before because I have been really having some strong manifestation powers this year. And I've really put things down on paper. I've journaled and I have a vision of what I want and I've pushed through. An example is opening up a dance studio and then my talk show that I have now. A lot of people were like, oh, it's COVID, it's quarantine. You're just going to sit at home and talk to people. And I was like, yeah, I am. I'm going to inspire the world and I want voices to be heard and I'm going to shine light. And I just kept going full force. And here I am with you.
Yeah, the people that called me and told me how bad it was going to be and how terrible it is, they're still sitting at home telling me how terrible 2020 was. And it's been the best year of my life. And that's not discounting what has happened to many people out there. But I can only control what is inside of me to control what's outside of me. And I will give my complete gratitude, energy, forgiveness, and accountability for everyone else as well. But if you need help to change your 2020, it's not too late. I can make 2020 the best. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. We got podcasts, TV shows, books, everything for free. We got a new show, 2-Minute Drill, launching next year on Bloomberg. It's going to be incredible to empower people to make more money, help more people, and have more fun. I'm going to teach you not only to make the money, but to shop for the right things that will make you happy. Not the things you don't need, not different things you don't need, not to impress people you don't even like. Remember, ego edges goodness out of your life. The E stands for don't worry about your employment status. Don't define yourself by what you do. The G stands for don't worry what you got. You're not going to impress anybody. Don't buy things you don't need to impress people you don't like. And most importantly, like Jacqueline's done, don't define yourself by what other people think. They only think ordinary thoughts. You think extraordinary thoughts. Let them build the statues of us, and let's leave the critics behind.
Yes, so much so. I love it. You have so much knowledge and so much value that is at everyone's fingertips, whoever wants it, which I love and have so much respect for.
Yeah, you know what? It's so interesting because what drives me is what drives St. Jude Children's Hospital, faith. St. Jude is the leading cancer research center in the world for children. They took leukemia. That was 4% of all children when they started lived through leukemia. Now almost 97% of the children live. But with the faith part for me is that the minute they have research, unlike other hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, medical device companies that hide the information from the vaccine so that Pfizer or Moderna or whatever the other companies are can make billions of dollars saving our lives with their vaccine. Not St. Jude. They posted immediately for the world. Why? Because they just want to cure cancer. I want to cure sadness. And so I'm posting everything that I can, like St. Jude does with research for cancer, to cure the sadness, to create happiness, to empower people like you that can take little tidbits, not everything that I know, but the tidbits like saying thank you or asking for help or, possibility, probability, perspective, giving them books, exercises, forums, having them free trainings on Friday for over 20 years. My replays, I have great partners like Spotify is featuring all of my trainings on a playlist for people to be happy. Entrepreneur features all of my playbooks to help people be happy. All the platforms feature me to help people to be happy. And all these great celebrities, athletes, entertainers, all types of millionaires, billionaires, and entrepreneurs all spend their time like you to share their wisdom, their enlightenment of how to expand, grow, accelerate, compound in interest so we can create a collective happiness, a consciousness of happiness.
And it makes such a difference. I feel like you are spreading more joy, and the world is a lot happier when you're a happier person and you start spreading love. And I feel like that's what we need, is lots of love and lots of happiness to make it a better place.
You nailed it. And like I said, I just hope people reach out to me, david@dmeltzer.com. I just love what you're doing. Please have me back into another elegant conversation about happiness anytime you want.
Yes, definitely. Was there anyone you wanted to do a shout out to?
I always give a shout out to my family, my wife, my kids, my mom, and of course my team. You have met several of them. I have the most incredible team. What we do pound for pound, I'll put up against any companies in the world as far as goodness, making money, helping people, and having fun, doing good deeds, and being kind. I have a kind company with extraordinary energy. So big shout out to my team.
Yes, yes. And I love them all. They have such great energy, and I love your energy too. I'm so drawn to you. And I love the light that you shine, and you just illuminate the world so much. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I'll see you soon.
Take care. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you guys for tuning in to Elegant Conversation with Jacqueline Valdez. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and also on Twitter. And then it will go live on 7 multiple platforms. Thank you guys. Elegant Conversation with Jacqueline Valdez, illuminating the world one voice at a time.